Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Thanks so much. Hare Krishna. So you can come closer on the chairs, perhaps. It'll be good for interaction with close association. Harikatha Prabhu, please pass us out. Let's give one of the Matajis to pass out on that side here. So thank you very much for the opportunity to do some service on this wonderfully auspicious day. Lord Nityananda reaches out to the fallen souls. So I guess I qualify. This song is by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who has written prolifically, and being a pure devotee of the Lord, he is able to understand the mood of the Lord and be able to envision the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda. So he's written this very beautiful song, and we'll attempt to try to sing it. It's called Nadiya Godrume Nityananda Mahajan. And then we'll read from Chaitanya Charitamrita after that, explain some of the tattva, the philosophical truth, and then the leela. All right? Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirveshesha Sunyavadi Paschatyadeshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Everyone can chant with me. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Nadiya Godrume Nityananda Mahajan Nadiya Godrume Nityananda Mahajan পাতিয়াছে নাম হত জীবের করণ। পাতিয়াছে নাম হত জীবর করণ। নদিয়া গোদ্রুমে নিত্যানন্দ মহাজন। श्रद्धावान जान हे, श्रद्धावान जान हे। नदिया गोद्रुम में नित्यानंद महाजन। नदिया गोद्रुम में प्रभु राघाई भाई मागिए भिक्षा। प्रभु राघाई भाई मागिए भिक्षा। बोलो कृष्ण भज कृष्ण करो कृष्ण शिक्षा। बोलो कृष्ण भज कृष्ण करो कृष्ण शिक्षा। नदिया गोद्रुम में नित्यानंद महाजन। नदिया गोद्रुम में नित्यानंद महाजन। अपराध शून्य होए लोह कृष्ण नाम। कृष्ण माता कृष्ण पिता कृष्ण धन प्राण। नदिया गोद्रुम में नित्यानंद महाजन। कृष्ण संसार को रचा दिया न चाय। कृष्ण संसार को रिचा न चाय। जीवादाय कृष्ण नाम सर्वधर्म सार। जीवादाय कृष्ण नाम सर्वधर्म सार। नदिया गोद्रुम में नित्यानंद महाजन। नदिया गोद्रुम में नित्यानंद महाजन। पातियाचे नाम हत जीवर करण। जय नित्यानंद राम नित्यानंद राम नित्यानंद राम जय नित्यानंद राम। बोलो जय नित्यानंद राम जय नित्यानंद राम नित्यानंद राम जय नित्यानंद राम। जय गौरा निताय गौरा निताय गौरा निताय जय गौरा निताय। जय कृष्ण बलराम कृष्ण बलराम Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajagacharya Astotara Sato Shri Srimad Abhay Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajagacharya Astotara Sato Shri Srimad Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Sakoho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityanandas Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Their Lordship Shri Shri Radha Radhanath Ki. Their Lordship Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani Ki. Their Lordship Shri Shri Nitai Gaur Hari Ki Jai. Hari Nam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Gyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sutta Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Vande Guru Nisha Bhaktan Isha Ishavatarakam Tat Prakasham Tat Shakti Krishna Chaitanya Samgyakam. Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sahodito Godadaya Pushpavanto Chitra Sando Tamo Nudho. At the right scale. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam. So we're going to read from Chaitanya Charitamrita, and since you don't have the reference, I'll have it on the back of that sheet for you. If you can just please don't put the sheet on the floor. You can hold it. Thank you. So this verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita is not in the normal refrain of Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's more like how you chant in Srimad Bhagavatam. So let's say the invocation for Chaitanya Charitamrita. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chanda Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chanda Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chanda Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda. think this might work with the same tune, Nadiya Godrume Nityananda. Let's try. Firstly, we need to do the word for word. Shankarshanaha. Mahashankarshan in the spiritual sky. Karanatoi Sahi. Karanodakshai Vishnu, who lies in the causal ocean. Garbha Udhashahi. Garvadakshai Vishnu, who lies in the Garbhodaka ocean of the universe. Cha, and Payah Abdhishai, Shirodakshaya Vishnu, who lies in the ocean of milk. Sheshaha, Sheshanag, the couch of Vishnu. Cha, and Yasya, whose, Amsha, plenary portions. Kala, and the parts of the plenary portions. Saha, he, Nityananda Akya, known as Lord Nityananda. Rama, Lord Balaram. Sharanam, shelter. Mama, my. Astu, let there be. Shankara Shana Karana Toya Shahi. Garbhodashaya cha payobdhishai. Sheshascha yasamsha kalasa nitya. Sheshascha yasamsha kalasa nitya. Nandakya Rama sharanam mamastu. Sharanam mamastu. Shankashana karana toya shahi. Shankashana tarana toya shahi. Garbhodashai cha payobdeshai. Sheshascha yasamsa kalasha nitya. Ya Nandakya Rama sharanam mamastu. Namamastu. Nandakya Rama sharanam mamastu. Shankashana karana toya sahi. Garbhodashaya cha payobdeshai. Sheshascha yasamsha kalasa nitya. Nandakya Rama sharanam mamastu. Anyone like to repeat? If you have another melody that's easier, you can try. Shankasha karana toya shahi. Garbhodashai cha payobdheshai. Sheshascha yasamsha kalasa nitya Nandakya Rama Sharanam Mamastu. Thank you. Shankashana Karanato Yashahi Garbodashai Cha Payobdeshai Sheshascha Yashamsha Kalasa Nitya Nandakya Rama Sharanam Mamastu. Mataji's, anyone else try? Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. May Sri Nityananda Ram be the object of my constant remembrance. Shankarshan, Sheshanag, and the Vishnus who lie on the Karana ocean, Garbha ocean, and ocean of milk are his plenary portions, and the portions of his plenary portions. So that's from chapter C.C. Adi Leela, chapter 1, text 7. Now that verse is also repeated in chapter 5. So that verse 7 and 8 are repeated in chapter 5. So we're reading now from C.C. Adi Leela 1, chapter 5, which is called The Glories of Lord Nityananda Balaram. So the title of the chapter also gives you the hint of who Nityananda is. So the verse text 1, I will read the translations. Let me offer my obeisances to Lord Nityananda, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose opulence is wonderful and unlimited. By His will, even a fool can understand His identity. Text 2. All glories to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All glories to Lord Nityananda. All glories to Advaita Acharya. And all glories to all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Text 3. I have described the glory of Sri Chaitanya in 6 verses. Now in 5 verses I shall describe the glory of Lord Nityananda. So this is being spoken by, this is Chaitanya Charitamrita. The author is Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, and he's speaking in the first person, right? I have described, so he's telling us. So text 4, now he's describing. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is the fountainhead of all incarnations. Lord Balaram is his second body. There's a purport, a short purport. Lord Sri Krishna, the absolute personality of Godhead, is the primeval Lord, the original form of Godhead. And his first expansion is Sri Balaram. The personality of Godhead can expand himself in innumerable forms. The forms that have unlimited potency are called Swamsa, and the forms that have limited potencies, the living entities, are called Vibhinamsa. Text 5. Ekaye swarup dhane bina matrakaya adya kaya vyuhu Krishna lila rashahaya. These two are one and the same identity. They differ only in form. Lord Balaram is the first bodily expansion of Krishna, and he assists in Lord Krishna's transcendental pastimes. Purport, a short purport again. Balaram is a Swamsa expansion of the Lord, and therefore there is no difference in potency between Krishna and Balaram. The only difference is their bodily structure. As the first expansion of Godhead, Balaram is the chief deity among the first quadruple forms, and he is the foremost assistant of Sri Krishna in his transcendental activities. Text 6. Se Krishna Navadvipa Sri Krishna Chandra Se Balaram Shanga Se Sri Nityananda. That original Lord Krishna appeared in Navadvip as Lord Chaitanya, and Balaram appeared with him as Lord Nityananda. So then we come to the first verse, text 7 that we read. Shankarshana Karana Toya Shankarshan Karana Toya Shahi Garboda Shayecha Payabdeshahi Sheshascha Yashamsha Kalasha Nitya Nandakya Rama Sharanam Mamastu. May Sri Nityananda Ram be the object of my constant remembrance. Shankarshan, Shesha, Naga and the Vishnus who lie on the Karana ocean, Garbha ocean, and ocean of milk are his plenary portions and the portions of his plenary portions. Sri Swarup Damodar, purport, Sri Swarup Damodar Goswami has recorded this verse in his diary to offer his respectful obeisances to Lord Nityananda Prabhu. This verse also appears as the 7th of the first 14 verses of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. So, Sri Swarup Damodar is the secretary of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? The intimate associate. Text 8. Lord Balaram is the original Shankarshan. He assumes 5 other forms to serve Krishna. He himself helps in the pastimes of Lord Krishna, and he does the work of creation in 4 other forms. He executes the orders of Lord Krishna in the work of creation, and in the form of Lord Shesha, he serves Krishna in various ways. The purport to text 10, short purport by Srila Prabhupada. According to expert opinion, Balaram, as the chief of the original quadruple forms, is also the original Shankarshan. Balaram, the first expansion of Krishna, expands himself in 5 forms. Mahashankarshan, Karanadhisahi, or Karanodakshahi, Garbodakshahi, Shirodakshahi, and Shesha. These 5 plenary forms are responsible for both the spiritual and material cosmic manifestations. In these 5 forms, Lord Balaram assists Lord Krishna in his activities. The first 4 of these forms are responsible for the cosmic manifestations, whereas Shesha is responsible for the personal service to the Lord. Shesha is called Ananta, or unlimited, because he assists the personality of Godhead in his unlimited expansions by performing an unlimited variety of services. Sri Balaram is the servitor Godhead who serves Lord Krishna in all affairs of existence and knowledge. Lord Nityananda Prabhu, who is the same servitor Godhead Balaram, performs the same service to Lord Gauranga by constant association. In all the forms, he tastes the transcendental bliss of serving Krishna. That same Balaram is Lord Nityananda, the companion of Lord Gaurasundar. So chapter 5, as Krishnadas Kaviraj is saying, he's going to be explaining the position of Lord Nityananda. So we say Lord Nityananda is the same Balaram. Welcome everybody. Thank you. You speak it, is it English speaking? Welcome. Thank you very much for visiting our temple. And you've come on a very, very auspicious day. It's one of our festival days. And this is our standard morning class at 7:30, where we speak from scripture and explain some of the main facets of the philosophy. And later on at midday, there will be many, many more people here for the midday program, and in the evening as well. So, thank you very much for coming, and by your presence here today on an auspicious day, you also receive so much blessings, and whether you know it or not, but everybody needs blessings. So, we see here in Chaitanya Charitamrita, the position of Lord Nityananda is being explained as being the expansion of Lord Balaram. And Srila Prabhupada in the purport is explaining quadruple expansions. So the Supreme Lord, Krishna, for the purposes of creation, he expands himself. The Supreme Lord does not personally get involved in the creation. He expands himself, and his first expansion is Lord Balaram. And from Lord Balaram comes the first quadruple expansion. And in that quadruple expansion, there is a personality known as Shankarshan. And then Shankarshan again expands himself into another 4. And from the second Shankarshan comes Karana Dakshaya Vishnu, which is referred to in the Vedic scriptures as Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu then, from his breathing, comes all the universes, like millions and millions of bubbles in a soda. If you leave a soda on the table, you see bubbles. So millions and millions of universes. As many millet seeds as they're in a bag of millet, then that many, many universes. So this is not within the domain of our understanding intellectually. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the great Acharya and spiritual master of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of ISKCON. He was such an astute scholar, brilliant scholar. So I'll try and balance my class a bit for our visitors. He was the grand spiritual master, or the spiritual master of the founder, Bhaktivedanta Swami. And he was so brilliant. He was a celibate monk. He was celibate from birth. And it is reputed that he was so pure in his thoughts and habits that he didn't even dream or think of the opposite gender. And he was very, very focused. So pure because of his purity, and he had the astute ability to memorize scripture. And during the occupation of the British in India, he learned the English and spoke it better than the British. So he was a renowned scholar. And he said that to understand the spiritual philosophy, one cannot measure it with the yardstick of your intellect. I quote. The process of spiritual realization comes through practice. When one immerses oneself in the practice of spiritual life, then you have a tangible experience of advancement. So, we are speaking today of a little more elevated subject matter, but the essence and the ABC of spiritual understanding is to understand our identity. Externally, we are coming from different countries. Which country, by the way? Is it mixture of countries? The UK, and we're speaking about the British in India. Here we go. So, we come from different countries, so we claim a certain nationality. Or we come from different races and we claim a different race. Or we come from different cultures, and we claim a different culture, or different languages, or different gender. And on the basis of that, we try to identify ourselves. But the ancient wisdom scriptures, which are called the Vedas, which are more than 5,000 years old, they establish that this identity of ours that we claim to possess externally, that is an illusion. And we are really not any of those. We are the drivers of these bodies and these externals. And that is known as spirit or soul, or in the Sanskrit, Jivatma. So just as the driver of a vehicle drives a vehicle, similarly the spirit soul animates this body. And when the spirit soul leaves a body that cannot sustain it anymore, that is called death. So we invite you to look into this philosophy. When Srila Prabhupada came to the West, then he was asked, what is your role? What is it you want to do here? So Srila Prabhupada said, I've not come to take anything from you. I've come to give you what you have forgotten. And that is this identity. It's unfortunate that our Western education, which I've been part of in this country, teaches us that I am the body and I have a soul. But the ancient Vedic wisdom teaches us, I am the soul and I have a body. And when you have that identity in the forefront of your mind, then you perceive the world differently. And you perceive how you relate with others differently. Because now you see true unity on a spiritual platform. Because I'm not the body, I'm a spirit soul. And on a spiritual platform, everybody is my brothers and sisters. So today we are speaking about an expansion of the Lord called Lord Nityananda. The Lord Nityananda appears, the Lord appears in different incarnations, in different periods of time. Just as He sends His emissaries, His commissioned servants like Jesus Christ or Muhammad or Buddha, and who come at different geographical locations and in different parts of history to remind people what they have forgotten, which is essentially the teaching that one should love God with all their heart, their mind and soul. They all come to do that. And from them, then, the main religions begin. So from Jesus Christ, Christianity, from Muhammad, Islam, from Buddha, Buddhism, etc. But within the ancient scriptures of the Vedas, the Vedic understanding, which is called Sanatana Dharma, very, very detailed discussions and descriptions are given. So the Supreme Lord, He comes Himself also. He may send His representatives, but He comes Himself also. So 5,000 years ago, He appeared as Lord Krishna, and then spoke Bhagavad Gita. But with the passage of time, as is characteristic of the material universe, knowledge, civilizations, all fade into oblivion, and therefore they become lost. Some pockets of knowledge remain, where the great sages were still practicing it. And from time to time, then the Lord sends or comes Himself to rejuvenate this knowledge. So now we have our Lord Nityananda. And Lord Nityananda appeared in 1474. 12 years. He is an associate of the Supreme Lord. 12 years before the Supreme Lord, Lord Chaitanya, appeared in 1486. And a little bit of history. Lord Nityananda appeared to a devotee couple known as Hadai Pandit and Padmavati. And Hadai Pandit was a great devotee of the Lord. And Lord Nityananda appeared. At that time, he was, as a small boy, he was very, very spontaneously drawn towards spiritual knowledge. And he, as a young boy, he would just enact dramas with all his friends, would get his friends together. And in his childhood pastimes, he would enact dramas about Lord Krishna's pastimes. And in this way, he was always absorbed in the spiritual practices spontaneously. And when his father Hadai Pandit asked, "How do you know all these things? How do you know all these things?" And he just said, "These are my pastimes. These are my Leela." So Hadai Pandit was fortunate to be benedicted with the presence of Lord Nityananda in his life. So Lord Nityananda was actually about 12 years older. Then he appeared before Chaitanya. And then he, at about 12 years, thank you very much. Those of you leaving, thank you so much for coming. Please visit our centers back home. We have many in the UK. So he began to perform certain dramas, and his childhood pastimes are full of delightful pastimes. Once they were enacting the Leela of Lord Ram, and he took the part of, who do you think that he took the part of? It's Krishna and Balaram. So in Lord Ram's pastime, as Lakshman, right? So he took the part of Lakshman. And then he had practiced the drama with everybody. So he came to the point where he was felled by the arrow, right? And then he went unconscious. And when he fell unconscious, the boys who were supposed to do their parts, they forgot their parts now. So Nityananda is lying unconscious, and he's not waking up. Because the drama is not happening, right? So he's just lying. And actually, it's not like he was pretending. It's Lakshman, Balaram. So he's in the role, he's in the part of Lakshman. He's out, he's knocked out, unconscious. So Hadai Pandit and Padmavati came running. They were worried to see what happened to Lord Nityananda. And then all the villagers came. Everyone is very, very worried. What happened to him? What happened to him? And then somebody they asked, what is going on? He said, no, we're doing the drama of Lord Ram. And this is now in the battle where Lakshman is felled. They said, oh, then maybe he's waiting for Hanuman. So then the boy remembered his part at that point. He said, oh, yes. So he went and he picked up the Sanjeevani from the Gandha mountains, and he came and he held a herb under the nose of Nityananda, and then he woke up. So in this way, they were playing so many of these Leelas. So Hadai Pandit, Nityananda was his life and soul. Wherever he went, Nityananda went with him, wherever. He could not, even when he was walking, if he fell back a bit, Hadai Pandit would always look back to see, where's my Nitai? So the devotee's life is absorbed in the Supreme Lord. So although it looked as if it's a father and son, but you can see there's a devotee who is absorbed in Lord Balaram. Lord Balaram, there's a exchange of love between Balaram and Hadai Pandit and Padmavati. So Hadai Pandit was also very, very truthful. And once a sannyasi came visiting, and we find that in the Vedic culture, when the sannyasi comes, then you afford all hospitality to the sannyasi. And Hadai Pandit invited the sannyasi. He is described as an effulgent sannyasi. He invited him, offered him prasad, and then they question and answer, and they sat up the whole night discussing Krishna Katha. But the sannyasi couldn't help being attracted to Balaram. He was wondering, why am I so attracted to this little boy, this delightful boy? Why? And then in the morning, then the next day when the sannyasi is about to leave, then Hadai Pandit asked, "What can I do for you? What can I offer you?" And the sannyasi said, "I am traveling all over India alone and I need an assistant. Will you give me your son?" Imagine that. Will you give your son to the sannyasi? Huh? But he understood that this is the plan of the Supreme Lord, and Nityananda will be trained, will have good association, and this is his dharma, because he's been asked and he always speaks the truth, and he already told, "What can I give you?" And whatever is to be asked is to be given. So he allowed Nityananda to go, and it's described in Chaitanya Bhagavat. So the source of all this information is Chaitanya Bhagavat by Vrindavan Das Thakur, Chaitanya Mangala by Lochan Das Thakur, Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Navadvip Dham Mahatmya. These are the books in which these different aspects which we're discussing are explained. And of course Chaitanya Charitamrita, right? So Vrindavan Das Thakur was the original biographer of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And it is later on that by the mercy of Raghunath Das Goswami, who asked Krishna Das Kaviraj to write about all the other things that were not captured. And that is how you get the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Right? So there are many books around the biography. So we see that he traveled with the sannyas for 20 years. 20 years of travel all around India. And eventually he began to travel on his own. And in that period he became known as an avadut. An avadut in the Vedic culture is one who is so absorbed in the Supreme Lord that he is not externally conscious about the social rules and the social obligations. He just very spontaneously enacts his relationship with the Lord. So the avadut, right? And therefore we'll see a lot of his pastimes, also him doing things that may not necessarily be acceptable or sometimes strange things, like later on when he was with Haridas Thakur, after Lord Chaitanya instructed him to go preach, he would jump in the river and wrestle with crocodiles and things like that. So, I mean, that's really not normal. Or we don't even have the fearlessness and so on to do that. So, yeah, so he traveled and then he went to Vrindavan. Eventually he ended up in Vrindavan. And in Vrindavan, he was absorbed and he was reminded. Now he came to this consciousness because he's Balaram. So he's being reminded of his pastimes and he's hankering for Krishna. In the meantime, Lord Chaitanya is engaging in his pastimes and he's hankering for Balaram. So both are hankering for each other. And then Lord Nityananda got the news of Lord Chaitanya's mission and his appearance, and therefore he was overjoyed, and he left Vrindavan and then came down to Navadvip. So initially when he came, he went to a house of Nandanacharya. He went to live there. He didn't meet Lord Chaitanya immediately. He went to live there. he went in incognito. He went to stay there. And that morning, Lord Chaitanya has a dream that a very effulgent personality came on a chariot. And he could see the chariot like very fiery, and he was dreaming about that, and that he has appeared. And when he recounted the dream to his associates, he became very, very ecstatic, because Lord Chaitanya would also go into this internal mood of Krishna or Radha Krishna, and he would demonstrate all sorts of symptoms. So he was absorbed in this. And then eventually when he came out of that, his devotee Murari Gupta, in whose home they were, he interpreted the dream for him and said that great personality you've been waiting for, perhaps he has come. So Chaitanya said, all right, you too, Murari Gupta, and you Haridas, you go look for him, find him. So they went all over Navadvip, and they couldn't find him because he was incognito in Nandacharya's house. Then Lord Chaitanya, who's all-knowing, he knew, and he said, okay, come, let us go. And him and all of his associates, they went. So remember, when Krishna comes as Chaitanya, when he comes, he does not come alone. Krishna Varnam, Tuisa Krishna, Sango Pangasta Parshadam, Yajnai Sankitana Prai, Yajanti Shu Medasaha. That this Krishna in this age, Krishna Varnam Atuisa Krishna, although he is not blackish, Krishna, he is Krishna himself. And how does he come? Sango Panga Parshadam. He comes with all of his associates, his weapons and his confidential companions. And one who is Sumeda Saha, one who has intelligence, he will worship this personality of Godhead in this age. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna himself, he went to look, and they had such a great reunion. Both of them were in ecstasy and embracing each other, and the devotees were looking on at this reunion, stunned, ecstatic, all the symptoms of love. Everyone was overflowing with ecstasy and joy. So Nityananda, this is how he reunited with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Nityananda, and I think, let's see how the time goes. All right, we have a few minutes. So Lord Nityananda, we spoke about some of his pastimes as a child, but also we know the famous pastime where he was ordered by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to preach. And therefore, this is the song. The song we have is Nadiya Godrume Nityananda Mahajan. And that's why we chose that song. And now the translation will make more sense now as I read them. So the first one, Nadiya Godrume Nityananda Mahajan, Patiyacha Namahata Jivere Karan. In the land of Nadia, on the island of Godrum, the magnanimous Lord Nityananda has opened up the marketplace of the holy name, meant for the deliverance of all fallen souls. So Nadia is the short of, or for Navadvip, Nadia district, Navadvip. The 9 islands, Navad Vipa. Vipa is islands, Nava is 9. The 9 islands in the confluence of the Ganga. And these 9 islands, they Antarvip, Simantadvip, Godrumvip, Madhyavip, trying to remember them, Koladvip, Ritudvip, Janudvip, Modhadrumavip, and Rudravip. 9 islands. They are separated by 9 tributaries. And This is the pastime place or the appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's not different from Vrindavan. So each of the islands represent a process of surrender or a process of devotional service. You remember the process of devotional service? When we speak about Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Pada Sevanam. Remember these 9 processes? So each of these islands, each one of them represent a different process of devotional service. But Godrum represents chanting. So appropriately, the song is now saying, in the land of Nadia on the island of Godrum, because this is where Lord Nityananda is performing his pastime of chanting and encouraging everybody to chant, meant for the deliverance of the fallen conditioned souls. As you see there, this is the marketplace, and Lord Nityananda is known as the Mula Mahajan. He is the chief proprietor of the holy name, of the marketplace of the holy name. And why is it called the marketplace? Because marketplace, we buy something, right? But here in this marketplace, it's available freely for everyone. But what do you pay? What's the price? What do you have to pay? You pay lobha, greed. Only greed for the holy name. If you have greed for the holy name, then you get the holy name. So this is not the greed in the negative sense. Shri Shri Radha Radhanath ki jai, Shri Shri Nitai Gaura Hari ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So I will do one more verse and then we will close this. I'm actually doing the class in New Jagannath Puri this evening, so I'll probably have more time to analyze the whole song there. I took a little time to give our visitors some background, otherwise they would have been quite lost, and it's important for them to understand we're not the body, the spirit, soul. So that took me about 10 minutes, but just let's look at verse 2. So ending on that point, he's the chief proprietor, and there are many patrolmen in that marketplace. And where we are getting this analogy and description from, these are the purports to the song given by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, the descriptions for which are contained in more detail in Jaiva Dharma. So in that book you'll see him, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, elucidating these points. So in this next verse it says, Shradhavan Jhan hai, Shradhavan. O people of faith, O people of faith, do what? By the order of Lord Gauranga, O brothers, Prabhura Agya Bhai, Magi A Bhiksha, I beg you. What do I beg you? 3 requests. Only 3 things I beg you. Bolo Krishna, Bhajo Krishna, Goro Krishna Shiksha. What is that? Chant Krishna, worship Krishna, and teach others about Krishna. These are the only 3 things Lord Nityananda is begging us all to do. He's not begging us to do worldly things. He's not begging us for mundane favors. He's simply saying these 3 things. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur then he analyzes in the purport that there are those who are externally practicing or look like they are practicing devotional service, but they are afflicted by bhoga and moksha, which is material sense gratification in the name of religion, as well as impersonal liberation. And even he's saying to them, do not do that, give that up. Don't. Just simply, Bolo Krishna, Bhajo Krishna, Goro Krishna Shiksha. This is all. You will not get the pure name. You will not get the pure name of Krishna if you engage in these. And we see in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Nectar of Devotion, Rupa Goswami also emphasizes that point. Anya bhilasita sunyam jnana karmadi anavritam anukulyena shilanam bhaktir uttama. That for first class devotional service to develop, one has to be rid of what? Jnana karmadi anavritam. Right? Sunyam, jnana. Anya bilasita, sunyam. Jnana and karmadi. So sunyam, impersonal liberation. Voidism, more like what the Buddha said. Jnana, mental speculation, which also leads to impersonal liberation. And karmadi, karma adi, fruitive activities. And for that first class devotional service to develop, you must be rid of that. Krishna anushilanam bhakti uttama. Bhakti uttama, first class devotional service. How will that? You get rid of these three things, but Krishna serve Krishna favorably as he desires. That is the point in there. So here it's also being emphasized. So be careful to remain free of offenses. Just take the holy name of Lord Krishna. Krishna is your mother. Krishna is your father. Krishna is the treasure of your life. Krishna Mata, Krishna Pita, Krishna Dhana, Dhane Pran. So I'll stop there. And of course there's no breakfast this morning. We're fasting. So no need to hurry off for breakfast. If you have any questions or comments, you want to add anything, I'll be more than happy if you can explain, elucidate, correct some of the things that we have said. Anybody? Does you have some question? Arjuna, nice to see you. Hare Krishna. Welcome back. Anything? Jyoti, you have a question?
I don't know, maybe if I missed it or not, but I was just wondering, what was it like when Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda met? You were describing how Lord Chaitanya took everyone and to find him.
Yes.
So what was that like?
Okay. In Chaitanya Bhagavat, then it's explained there that the Lord and Nityananda were embracing. Tears, torrents of tears were flowing, and ecstasy. The devotees were also feeling those emotions. I think it would be nice if we had Bhagavat, Chaitanya Bhagavat to read it. But you have a copy, Chaitanya Bhagavat, it's available, and Vrindavan Thakur. I didn't bring it. Actually, I was thinking to bring it, but I said. We can probably pick it up. Can you pick it up, Dash, as a PDF somewhere? Chaitanya Bhagavat. We can read, but whatever the descriptions are, it was all about a very, very ecstatic reunion between the Lord and between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because as Krishna and Balaram have come together again, they now have found each other, right? And you can just well imagine how the residents were drowning in that ecstasy. Everyone was besides themselves. Everyone was fully absorbed in the spiritual surcharge of that atmosphere, right? It is not any emotions that we can even think about in this body. That is why devotees, they faint because they cannot handle the emotions. So I suggest you can read that, and I'll take my Bhagavat along for the evening program as well. It would be nice to read that. So thank you very much for that. Hare Krishna. Shri Nitai Gaur Hari Ke, Shri Nityananda Ram Ke, Shri Nityananda Trayodhashi Ke, So why is it called Trayodasi? I forgot to ask that one. You see it name like that, Nityananda Tray. I like to get my song copies back if you don't mind. If you want one, you can keep it, but in the main. So yeah, the Vedic calendar is named, right? The calendar is named Pratipat, Dvitiya, Tritiya, Chaturthi, Panchami, Shasti, Saptami, Astami, Navami, Dashami, Ekadasi, Dwadasi, Trayodasi, Chaturdasi. And then it starts again, the 14 days, and then the next 14 days again starts with Pratipat. So you got the waxing moon and the waning moon periods. So now we're in the actual waxing period. So we're in the 13th day. Or you could say 2 days after Ekadasi, Dwadasi, Trayodasi. That's how we get this word in English. Tricycle, tryo, 3. So you can see how Sanskrit is being used and derived. Okay, so Trayodasi. All right, thank you. Hare Krishna. Thanks very much for the opportunity to devotees who arrange this, Rukmini and temple management. Hare Krishna. So I wish you a good fast for half a day. And please, Bolo Krishna, Bhajo Krishna, whole day. Guru Krishna, Shiksha, preach also. Stay in the temple, there will be visitors, chant you around, preach to them. And then later, take nice prasad. Hare Krishna. I need to make sure this book goes back. Make sure Vraja Sevaki gets us back. Let's go into the temple. We can have Prabhu. We can have little kid time. Just keep some kid. Have some kid.